Good afternoon, guys. It is a great day to be in room 625. It is. For today, we are going to continue dividing decimals by decimals. We did this yesterday. For today's video, for Thursday, we are going to do it one more time for today's assignment. So don't forget the 4 or 5 steps I have up here, the same steps we went through yesterday. Step 1 is we have to make that divisor a whole number. After we do that, we have to however many times move the decimal or divisor to make it a whole number. We must move the decimal that many times in our dividend to make it equivalent. Once we do that, we bring the decimal point straight up, divide like normal, and add zeros as necessary. So I'm going to do 3 examples with you guys today, and then I will have you guys work on your assignment. So example 1 says 47 and 25 hundredths divided by 3. If you notice, my decimal or my divisor here does not have a decimal. If it did have a decimal, it'd be right here, which means it's already a whole number. You can't see that red dot. It doesn't have a decimal, but there it is. But it's a whole number, so I don't have to move it at all because the whole goal is to make this a whole number. If it's already a whole number, I don't have to touch it again. So I am going to go ahead and just bring my decimal point straight up. 3 goes into 4 once. 1 times 3 is 3. I subtract, I get 1. I bring down my next number. And if you remember, does McDonald's serve burgers? Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. I divided 3 into 4 one time. I multiplied 1 times 3 and got 3. I then subtracted 4 minus 3 is 1, and then I brought down the 7. Now 3 goes to 17 5 times. And once again, if I bring down a number, when I divide the next time, however many times that number goes into that number, I put above the number I brought down. 5 times 3 is 15. I subtract, I get 2. Bring down my next number. 3 goes into 22 7 times. That's 21. I subtract, bring down my 5. And 3 goes into 15 5 times. I subtract and get 0. And remember, the whole goal is to get a 0 down there. That is our goal, is to end with a 0. So the answer to 47 and 25 hundredths divided by 3 is 15 and 75 hundredths. The next problem, I thought I marked myself for a minute there. Example 2 says 24 and 367 thousandths divided by 5. As you notice here, I do have a decimal. I don't want to have a decimal there. I want this to be a whole number. So I'm going to move that decimal to the right in order to make it a whole number. So I'm going to move this 1 time to the right. If I move my decimal and my divisor 1 time to the right, I have to be fair and move the decimal and my dividend 1 time to the right as well. So I am going to rewrite this, and it will be the same as 5 into, that was ugly. Let's try that again. 5 into 243.67. So you notice when I rewrite it, I dropped the decimal in my divisor. I don't want that there. I want it to be a whole number. And I'm going to move, however many times I move it in my divisor, I'm going to do the same thing in my dividend. And I'm going to rewrite it there. So now it's between the 3 and the 6. It's between the 3 and the 6. So now after I bring my decimal point straight up, I can divide like normal. 5 can't go into 2, but goes into 24 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. I subtract, I get 4. I bring down my 3. 5 goes into 43 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. I subtract. I bring down my next number. 5 goes into 36 7 times. That's 35. I subtract, I get 1. I bring down my 7. 5 goes into 17 3 times. That's 15. I subtract, I get 2. Here's our moment. I don't have a 0 down here. My goal is always to get a 0 down here. So don't forget our last step where it says add zeros as necessary. This is where I'll have to add a 0 to my dividend and bring it down. Continue to add that process, do that process until this becomes a 0 down here as well. 5 goes into 24 times. That is 20. I subtract, I get 0. So my answer to 24 and 367 thousandths divided by 5 tenths is 48 and 734 thousandths. When I do this, the problem I create will give me an equivalent answer. So even though it's a different problem, the answers will be equivalent because I did the same thing to both the outside and the inside of my division sign. I did the same thing to both my divisor and my dividend. All right, one last problem for today. I have 48 and 6 tenths divided by 3 thousandths. I need to make this outside number a whole number. I do that by moving the decimal to the right. I need to move it to the right 1, 2, 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times. If I move it 3 times to the right and my divisor, I have to move it 3 times to the right in my dividend. I'm going to have to fill those empty swoops in with zeros. So now I'm going to write this as 3 being divided into 4, 8, 6, 0, 0. And the decimal goes at the end. I'm going to bring it straight up. Like I said before, we want to get rid of the decimal in my divisor on the outside. I want to keep my decimal in my dividend, okay, because it's going to come in handy at points. The more we explore dividing decimals, I will want to have this on the inside. So now it is time to divide like normal. 3 goes into 4 once. That is 3. I subtract, I get 1. Bring down my 8. Connect those. There we go. 3 goes into 18 6 times. That is 18. I subtract. I bring down my 6. 3 goes into 6 twice. That is 6. I subtract 0. Now, just because all I have left is zeros doesn't mean I'm done. I have to continue the process of divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down until I have brought down all my numbers. I can't just stop here. The answer is not 162. I have to continue that process. So now I'm bringing down this 0. 3 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 3 is 0. I subtract to get 0. I bring down another 0. 3 goes into 0 0 times. I subtract, I get 0. So that is my answer. You might also think of it as I can't stop until I have a number touching my decimal. If I stop before then, my answer is not going to be correct. So the answer to 48 6/10 divided by 3 thousandths is 16,200. So hopefully that helped. Please continue to do your work. Please continue to show your work. And please continue to submit your work. Don't submit blank documents, guys. It's a 0. We see that. Don't try to trick your parents at home or grandparents at home, whoever watches you, by show them, hey, I submitted something, when it's really a blank document or the notes. Make sure you're submitting that actual assignment and you're showing your work in order to receive full credit. No work equals lesser credit. Okay. Have a great day. I will talk to you guys later. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you soon again in room 625. See you guys.